Hi, I'm Ken Burton. Welcome to Windy Ridge Woodworks. I'm going to talk about this chair. This is a chair I developed for a chair making class, and Woodcraft Magazine put it in issue 72. You can find complete plans for it there. This chair features a woven seat. It's made from a product called Danish cord. Makes a very comfortable, lightweight seat. You can see it, very flexible. I'm going to show you how to weave it. All right, I'm ready to start weaving. I have my chair glued together. I've applied a finish. That's a really important point before you start to weave. I also have the supplies I need. I have Danish cord here. This happens to be the laced variety. I like the way it looks better. It's about 10 pounds. You need 2 pounds per seat. And you need some of these L-shaped Danish nails. They're a little pricey, but the good ones are worth it. The lesser ones don't go in as easily. All these things are available from a website called hhperkins.com. I'm going to cut about 30 feet of this and we'll get started. To weave the seat, first you need to install nails around the inside of the chair frame. You want to start about 5/16 in from the leg and space the nails approximately 1 1/8 apart. Take your cord, tie an overhand knot in one end, and loop that over the first nail. And take the cord under the apron, cross the seat of the chair, down the front apron, loop around the first nail, and come back. Try to maintain tension as you do. Then down the back apron, loop around that first nail again, cross the seat, hook onto that first nail again, and back. So that completes the first 4 strands across the seat. Now I want to take 4 turns around the back apron. Okay. At the end of the 4th turn, you want to come and hook onto the second nail. And come across the seat. Now I've got a space here I need to fill in. So I'm going to take 4 turns back toward the first 4 strands. So I've got those 4 strands in. As you're doing this, you want to kind of make sure that the lines remain straight up and down. They're not angling either way. I want to catch the first nail again. This will be the 3rd time around it. Then I come down and up across the front apron, back to the rear. Underneath, around the second nail, back to the front, catch the second nail there, now I'm back to the rear apron and I'm going to do another 4 turns, back to the front, 4 turns, and back and forth. So we've set up the pattern. At a certain point, as you're weaving, you're going to come to the end of your strand. You're not going to have enough to do what you need to do next. So I need to make a splice. I am at this point about halfway across the seat, and I've actually made several splices already, ready to do another one here. So I want that splice to occur on the back side of the rail, somewhere here where the knot will be hidden. So I'm just going to take this around and loop it up. Okay. I want my knot to go right about there. Now the knot I'm going to use is called a sheet bend. And it's a knot that used for splicing rope together. You start with a loop into one, and you want to take your new piece, bring the end up through the loop, bring it around behind, and then tuck it back into under the first piece. And then you can pull the knot tight. So now that splice will be hidden right on the back side of the apron. And I can keep going with the rest of the seat. So I've reached the end of the front to back weave. This is my last strand, so I'm going to take this and drop it down the back side of the apron. Now I need to turn the chair so I have access to the underside. So for the underside and tying off, you want to bring the last strand around behind the apron. Now I want to loop around this last nail, but I also want to tie a knot. And it's tricky to keep the tension on the cord at the same time you get that knot tied. So what I try to do is to get the knot started ahead of time. So make a little loop and tuck the end up through. Now I can drop that over the nail and try to work that whole knot tight, maintaining tension. And then finally, for added assurance, I'm going to make one more pass around the underneath there. You may find it's helpful if you have a pair of pliers handy, you can use that to help grab the end. The cross weave works pretty much the same way the back to front weave did. Start with an overhand knot, and we're going to take that to the rear, in this case the left rear, and hook it on one of the nails, the first nail. And I'm going to start with a loop, double strand, and I'm going to weave it. I'm going to go over the first, under the second group, and just continue over, under, across the chair. Now it's really that first strand that's important, so I want to make sure I've got good tension on it. Take this down and loop it around the first nail on the other side. And then work the tension back on that second strand. I want to come and catch this first nail again underneath. Come on. And work a second strand following that first one. Over. until we finally reach the other side. And then again, I want to go under and catch the first nail. And work the slack out. Now I'm back where I started. I'm going to take 4 turns around this apron to create that space. You catch a nail underneath. Now I want to take a single strand because I need the end at the other side. So this one's going to start by going under and over and under and over, just the opposite of what the first one did. I'm going to pull this all the way through because I need a free end over here to make the wraps on this apron. Work the spacing in there. So now I'm going to take 4 turns on this apron to fill in back toward the rear leg. I'm going to catch a nail underneath. And then follow back across. Now here I can take this loop and hook it on a nail. And then work the slack back out. Catch another nail on this side. And do the final pass. Now here I need a free end, so I'm just going to pull this through. Now I'm ready to make my next 4 loops around the apron. You're going to continue this way all the way across the seat till you get to the end at the front. At that point, you're just going to tie off as you did before. With that, you're done. Put your chair down on the floor and have a seat for a rest. You deserve it. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your chairs.